Hello, welcome. It is finally time to talk about everything that I want to knit and crochet this spring, plus some general spring inspo trend-ish kind of stuff. Just things in general that I've been obsessed with for this spring. I was supposed to film and post this video last week, but then I randomly got tonsillitis. It was a very swift recovery, thank God. But yeah, I just wanted to rest my voice and my throat. So we're doing it this week instead. And it actually worked out quite well that I had another week to kind of think about this video because there's so many patterns and things that I came across while I was ill and on my phone for like 3 days straight, basically. And I now feel way more inspired, way more motivated and very excited to chat about spring things. I'll be going through all the projects that I have planned for the next 3 months, as well as some whips that I'm taking into spring. But I'm also going to share some patterns that I've been obsessed with recently that I would love to make if I had an infinite amount of time. I feel like the vibe for my spring going into summer, just my year in general, is kind of like athleisure, leisure wear vibes, which is something that I never thought I would say because within my nature, I am not a sporty person. I didn't grow up being a sporty person. However, over the last 2 years I've really gotten into the gym. I go to yoga, Pilates. I exercise almost every day of the week, and because I work from home, a lot of days in the week the only time that I leave the house is to go and exercise. So I spend a lot of my time already in very relaxed, comfortable clothing. Again, working from home. My outfits are very different to what they were like this time last year when I was still working in the office. So that's kind of like the vibe that I'm keeping in mind when I'm thinking about my projects. Number one, what are things that are comfortable, but also what are things that I can make that can elevate my athleisure wear in terms of the color palette. I've seen some sort of reoccurring themes and trends. I mainly wear a lot of neutrals, and within that I've been obsessed with like a dark green khaki kind of color. I think that is going to be very prevalent for me this spring and summer. Also a nice chocolatey brown like this top that I'm wearing. I'm also integrating more black into my own knits. I've not really done that previously because I found it quite boring, and it's actually weirdly difficult to work with black yarn because you can't really see your stitches, but it brings so much value and wear to my own like handmade wardrobe. And then in terms of more like pops of color, I always love a good red, a nice sort of cobalt blue as well, but also just within the blues kind of going for navy, a lighter navy, those kind of blue shades. And then more pastel-y kind of colors that I've sort of been liking recently. It's like a blush pink, a very muted, darker, but still kind of saturated pink. And then a nice butter yellow, but again, not a super bright one, but more of like a muted, toned down butter yellow. There's a few winter whips that I'm taking into spring. Number one is this red cardigan that's based on my own cardigan pattern, the Heidi cardigan. And the reason why I wasn't able to finish this is because I ran out of yarn right before I was supposed to do the cuff for this cardigan. And this is the Lana Grossa Winter Softness yarn, which I cannot access in the UK for some reason. I bought this when I was in Germany, and I was adamant that all the yarn that I bought in Germany I would have access to in the UK, and that is the case for most of the yarn that I bought, just not for this one. So I'm probably going to finish this in April because I am going to Austria at the end of March, and I'm kind of hoping that I can find it there. Then when I get home I can finish this one. I'm also working on another cardigan. This is a black one, and for this I've also run out of yarn, but it's not a problem. I can order it again because I'm using the Copenhagen Fibers brushed alpaca held together with the merino light, so I just need to order a couple more skeins of that. And for this I have done one arm or one sleeve, and I just need to do the second sleeve. This was originally going to be for my mum. However, I might actually end up keeping this because I did already have a black version of my Heidi cardigan. However, this got mixed up in the wash and ended up in the bed sheets wash, and it shrunk. Super tiny. I was being very brave and I didn't cry about it even though I really wanted to, and so I kind of tried to steam it a little bit more. I really thought that I could get it back to its original form. However, it just hasn't quite worked out. This cardigan was already a lot shorter than the pattern calls for. So now it is super short and it is so like wide and stretched out around the body. So I don't think I will actually be wearing this. And the sleeves are like a tiny bit too short as well. So my plan is to take the buttons off. I'm gonna hold on to this, maybe figure out what I can do to fix it. I thought about maybe picking up stitches at the bottom bottom and extending the hem, and then I could maybe also like bring it in a little bit more so it's not as wide. I don't know, if anyone has any tips or suggestions, please let me know, because yeah, I don't want to give up on it. But then at least for the sort of pattern marketing photos and stuff like that, when I upload it in April is when this pattern comes out, then I have a black version, and then I can figure out whether I'm going to keep this or give it to my mum. But in terms of length, this already works out much better than this one did when it was not shrunk yet. Then another super wintry whip that I purposefully didn't finish in the winter is a pair of knitted mittens, and the reason why I didn't finish them is because they're currently being tested, and once the pattern test has finished, I'm going to record a video tutorial for it as well. So I'm probably going to do that at the end of April. This is how these are looking. I haven't attached them yet. I'm using the Lang Cashmerino, something like that. I feel like I made that up, but this yarn is lovely. It is so nice. I'd really like to use this again for a bigger project in the future, but yeah, this was more of a strategic holding back of finishing the whip. This will be a free pattern coming out this winter, obviously alongside the video tutorial as well, so I'm just going to prep all of that so I don't have to rush when winter comes around. Another free pattern and tutorial that I'm hoping to release more for the summertime, but I would have to finish in spring for it to be ready for summer, is my birthday bag. This is made of a bunch of granny squares, and I've got all of the granny squares ready. I'm just waiting for a good time to have the pattern tech edited so that then again I can film the video tutorial once I have all the correct pattern instructions, and then I'm going to film all of these being attached and made into the bag. Then moving on to projects that I would like to start and work on this spring, the little bow tee. This is obviously the knit version that is going into testing hopefully very soon, but I've also made a crochet version which isn't fully done yet. There's a couple more adjustments that I would like to make, but I'm really putting it off because this crochet project has already given me a lot of headache, let's say. This is how it turned out. It is very cute. It fits really nicely. It just needs to be adjusted at the top half a little bit. I've ordered some more yarn. This is the Isager Trio 1. I am obsessed with that yarn. I love the sheen that it creates. It is so soft. It feels really breathable. I haven't worn either of these tops out and about yet, but I can already feel like this is going to be such a spring summer staple. The new colors haven't arrived yet, but I got a really nice white color to recreate the knit version in a white. I think that would be so beautiful and just what I need for my wardrobe. I already wear a lot of white tank tops, and I feel like this in a white would be just like an elevated version of the tank top. Then I ordered a green color to create another one of the crochet tops. This is kind of me getting into my khaki obsession. It's not quite khaki, it's more like a brighter green, but I think it's close enough, and it's colorful enough whilst also being like basic enough that I think I would get a lot of wear out of that. So I'm really excited for that yarn to arrive and to create a couple more versions of these. I like to knit alongside my testers as well, and also it's just nice to have a couple versions of my pattern to take photos of. Then I think I would like to make at least one thing that isn't my own pattern, or like one thing where I don't have to use my brain as much and I can just follow someone else's instructions. And I remember that I have the pattern for the Knitting for Olive Audrey cardigan. I did also order the matching yarn for that, but I think I used that for something else. But I'm sure I have a similar kind of yarn in my yarn stash that I can use to meet gauge. I just think this would be the perfect cardigan to have in the spring to throw on. My Heidi cardigan is obviously buttoned and I never wear it unbuttoned. I basically just wear it as a jumper, whereas this would be perfect to just throw on. But yeah, instead of like a jacket or a full-on jumper, this is really cute to take along with me when I'm heading out, I suppose. Then one project I would really like to work on, but I think I might be tight on time for, is something that I haven't even like drafted up yet. I haven't got a sample for it. I haven't got any measurements to work on, but I've been really inspired by these sort of baby tee cropped sleeve raglan tops that a lot of people are recreating at the moment. And again, talking about the kind of tank tops that I wear a lot anyways, I'd love to recreate the sort of tank top shape that I already like in knit, but then add a keyhole so that I can wear it either to the front or to the back for like a little bit of pizzazz. The reason why I don't think I will have time for it is because I have nothing to base it on, so it would be a lot of trial and error that will just take a lot of time and a lot of energy. So it's something that's always at the back of my mind, but I just don't know if that's going to happen this year. Also, that idea is quite similar to the rose top by Mathilde knit. That top is absolutely beautiful, so if you like that idea that I talked about, this is a great pattern to follow along. They're still not quite what I have in mind. I'd want even more cropped shoulders. I'd want the keyhole to be a lot bigger, but that is a beautiful pattern and it's just come out, so I don't really feel like I need to give people another one of those patterns. And I actually have a couple very wintry projects that I would like to work on this spring in preparation for winter time. I'm really trying to get ahead of all of my winter pattern releases because I want to have them tested in time for winter. And one of them is my Cindy hat, which I worked on in February, I want to say, and there's a few amends that I want to make to it. I'm not quite happy with the sort of fold over that I created. It is way too big as well, and actually too loose. I thought at the time that it fit me perfectly, but it needs to just like be cinched in way more. Like I'm really kind of folding it a lot, like all of this needs to go. So I would like to readjust this pattern. I have ordered a new yarn for this as well. This is the Hobby Soft Lash yarn and I wanted to make a nice blue version. I'm also hoping that I can see my stitches maybe a bit better than with this sort of dark brown. So hopefully I can work on this spring. And in my yarn order as well is the Baby Alpaca Blend and Merino Light from Hobby. And what I would like to use that for is, it's just behind me at the back of my chair, a second version of my Christmas jumper. Now this pattern, ideally I'd like to launch August, latest at the start of September. And there were a few kind of issues I had with this. I didn't like the yarn that I originally used for this, which is why I've ordered the Baby Alpaca yarn instead. I've swatched it and it looks beautiful. The pattern is currently being tech edited and graded, and once that is done and I have my sort of pattern a bit more complete, I'm going to knit up another version of this. I think this will be really fun to work on because I basically have the pattern ready for me to follow along and then obviously make any necessary changes. I still need to add some short rows right at the top and I'm going to add a lot more length to it as well, but I'm going to be doing that once I kind of have the pattern somewhat ready. I kind of try to follow somewhat of the same color scheme. Their Copenhagen Fibers range, the colors don't match up across the different yarn types, which is a bit frustrating, so this is as close as I could get. But also for this one, the two different browns were also completely different and it kind of blends in quite nicely, so I'm hoping the same will happen with this. I obviously also got the red for the red snowflake details, and the blue is pretty similar to the tiny little blue details, and the beige is pretty much spot on to this as well. I feel like now that I'm talking about all of these projects, that is actually quite a lot that I'm planning to work on, and it doesn't end there because there's a bunch of random projects that I would like to also start and work on that are kind of like not pattern related. They're projects that I don't want to write patterns for. The first one is based on a bunch of yarn I ordered actually for the Christmas jumper, but I didn't like how they swatched, and it's a mix of this Sandnes Garn yarn and this Rauma yarn. They're all 100% Norwegian wool, and I think these would felt really nicely. I have a bunch of different colors for these, and what I'm hoping to make is a little cat house for my cat, obviously. It was like the only thing that I could think of that I would like to use that yarn for, and I think she would really appreciate it. For that, I have looked at a few different patterns on Ravelry because I don't really want to have to freehand it too much. I feel like I just want to have like a mindless task. I really like this cat bed that I don't think I'd do the tip of it. I would just kind of round it off, or like similarly, this one was free. It looks quite sort of the same, and yeah, I would prefer to crochet it because I think it would be done a lot quicker than a knit version of that. Then I've been thinking about this a couple months now, and I think I'm going to crop my Eve dress that I knit in the winter. I love it. I think it turned out beautifully. I wore it on New Year's. The way that I was planning to wear it was oftentimes with a white t-shirt on top and kind of with the bottom of the dress peeking out as a skirt. But when I wear a t-shirt on top, the sequins kind of really show through and it just doesn't look how I want it to look. And it's also a thick, heavy dress. I don't see myself wearing it as that kind of outfit in the summer. Like, I would just be boiling. So I would get a lot more wear out of this if it was just simply a skirt. So my plan is to put a lifeline in there, cut it up, keep the top half separate obviously so I can wear it as a top, and then turn the lower half into skirt. I don't quite know yet how I'm going to do it, whether I'm going to feed an elastic through or create some kind of like belt loop. I'm not sure. I'm going to deal with that when the time comes. But that's like a fun random project that I would really like to succeed in, because I think that would be so cool to wear as a skirt. And then very randomly, not really project specific, I booked a spinning workshop at a local alpaca farm here in Norfolk, which I'm really excited for. It was on my sort of goals for this year to visit a local alpaca farm, and I just so happened to have one locally to me, which is amazing. And yeah, for like half a day I'm going to be spinning alpaca yarn with the alpacas like right next to me, and obviously I'll have the yarn to then work with as well. I don't quite know yet what I'm going to be using that for, but I'm sure when the time comes and I'm holding the yarn, I'll have a better idea. Moving into some patterns that I would absolutely love to make, but probably looking at my list of things that I've planned, won't have time for, but I wanted to share anyways. Starting with the Espresso top by Lykke knit. This is beautiful. Obviously the chocolate brown is on my mood board already as well, but I love the little cutout. I love how there's like garter stitch around the bust area. I also like how the straps sit kind of wide, and it just looks really nicely fitted around the body. Apart from timing also, I don't know how much wearability I actually would get out of this with like a larger chest. I would have to somehow figure out how to wear a bra under this, but in theory this is a beautiful pattern. It's just in practice I don't know how I would actually make it happen. Then spring to me is time for the cardigans. I cannot wait for the weather to reach a kind of temperature where I can just wear cardigans and jumpers as my outerwear and I don't have to rely on jackets and coats anymore. And one cardigan that I love is the Carbeth cardigan by Kate Davies. This pattern wouldn't have really stood out to me if I just saw it on Ravelry, but I saw this beautiful version in like a fuzzy beige colour. It has like a blue detail around the collar as well, and the buttons are gorgeous. I saw this on Pinterest and this is exactly the kind of cardigan that I would love to have in my wardrobe. So if you don't want to wait for my Heidi cardigan, this one is a great option. I mean, it looks completely different and a lot more intricate than my cardigan design, but if I wasn't already working on so many cardigans, then this is definitely one that I would make. For the crocheters out there, I realized that I've been chatting a lot of knit in this video. The Easy Stripe crochet cardigan by Joslin Crochet is so cool. This actually is again a really good alternative to my Heidi cardigan, which is a knit cardigan obviously. If you don't knit but you like the look of that one, this is a fantastic crochet option. I would make this in a heartbeat. Again, if I wasn't already making a lot of knit versions, then something I have actually been thinking recently would be incredibly useful for my wardrobe is a kind of meshy-ish, super basic top. I have a black one that I made on my knitting machine ages ago. It's got like a hole on the arm somewhere that I just never get around to fixing, but I wear this all the time for the kind of transitional weather because it also bunches up really small so I can pop it in my bag rather than having to like throw it over my shoulders or whatever. And a very similar one to that is the Summer Lotus by Marialeatricot. It's also available on Hobby, but this is literally the perfect spring top. You can just throw on a little vest underneath and you're ready to go, especially on a day when it's sunny out but still a little bit chilly. And then thinking more about tops rather than cardigans and jumpers and that kind of stuff, Marialeatricot has a couple really fun knit tops. There's the Pippa Tee if you're in search for a cute little baby tee, or the Naomi top if you want a kind of vest and the sort of button detail is really fun as well. The Ophelia blouse is a beautiful knit pattern. I especially like the black version. It kind of looks a bit like edgy and alternative, which I like. And this is a great design where I could see myself wearing a bra underneath, like it doesn't matter so much if it shows in the middle, but it still has like a bit of like see-throughness, meshiness in the sort of details around here. Obviously moving into the summer time as well, meshy, lacy and filet crochet designs especially are perfect for this kind of season. A really cute top that I would love to make is the filet crochet top by Cool Stitches. This is so beautiful with the flower designs. The button band looks so well done and so nicely designed. I like the option of wearing it closed as just like a top, or having the option to wear it as a cardigan is so fun as well. I don't think the pattern is actually out yet for this, but Be Creative Knits made this knit top which looks like filet crochet with this huge star on the front, which is so cute as well. So this is a great pattern to keep an eye out for if you're a knitter and you love the filet crochet look, then you can actually recreate it with knit. That's so fun. Those are all the patterns that if I had many more hands and much more time available to me, I would be making all of those. Like, what a fantastic wardrobe that would be for the springtime. I kind of thought that filming this video would give me a bit more clarity, make me more motivated for the springtime, but I actually feel a bit more overwhelmed now than I did before, because there's so much that I want to make, but obviously only so much time. I mean, 3 months is a long time and a lot of things that I can make for that, but as you can maybe tell, this year I'm really trying to think ahead. So springtime isn't just for spring projects, it's also for 2 seasons in advance, so winter projects. So I find it quite hard to juggle what do I want to wear in the summer that I need to make now, but also what are the patterns and projects that I want to have ready for the winter that I need to make now. So it's kind of juggling those 2 things. I would love to hear what you have planned for this spring. What are you working on? Are you kind of seasonal maker? Are you making things that you're going to wear this summer, or are you just making jumpers all year round, which I love as well? Let me know in the comments down below. But yeah, other than that, I hope you enjoyed this video and hopefully I will see you next time. Goodbye.